This is the brand new Kia Stinger. Introduced in 2011 as the GT concept at the Frankfurt Auto Show, the Stinger has been under development for over 6 years. Kia set out to create the ultimate Grand Tourer that can compete head-on with the likes of the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe, Audi A7, and Porsche Panamera. Huge thanks to Jerry Seiner Kia of downtown Salt Lake for providing me this wonderful car to review for everyone. If you are in the market for a Kia, please check out their dealership and any one of their knowledgeable associates will help you out. Their details are in the description. Not deviating entirely from the concept design, the Kia Stinger is a stunningly beautiful automobile that gives its competitors a run for their money. The design is reminiscent of a Fisker Karma, a Maserati, or something much more premium than what you would expect from a Kia. Regardless of the badge, this car is sure to turn heads due to its striking differences compared to other cars on the road. Every part of the design has been thought through, from the front grille intakes that send air through the wheel arches to cool the 4-piston Brembo brakes, to the fastback design that provides greater storage space to compete with crossovers. The Stinger comes in a variety of different variants, ranging from a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which starts at $31,900, all the way up to the range-topping 3.3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 GT2 model, which starts at $49,200. All-wheel drive is of course optional on all variants, which is great for those of us that don't live in California. The model we have here is the range-topping GT2 outfitted in high chroma red and black Nappa leather. This particular model comes in at $52,475. Before you get shocked at the sticker price, consider what you get with this car. The GT, GT1, and GT2 come with the glorious 3.3-liter twin-turbo V6 that is found in the Genesis G80 Sport, which outputs 365 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque. This results in a 0 to 60 at 4.7 seconds, quicker than a BMW 440i, V6 Porsche Panamera, BMW 640i, and Audi A5 Sportback. You can also opt for the base 2-liter turbo that provides 255 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque with a 0 to 60 of 6.6 seconds. Both engines are mated with a Hyundai-designed 8-speed automatic transmission with paddle shifters that shift surprisingly quick. The exhaust note on the GT model is grumbly and powerful, and the acceleration is sure to throw you into your seat. Additionally, the Stinger can be outfitted with all the optional packages that you can find in its luxury competitors. Depending on the variant, these packages include GT exterior styling, 19-inch alloy wheels with Michelin Pilot Sports, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, parking sensors, heated and cooled front and rear seats, heated steering wheel, an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment display, a 15-speaker Harman Kardon sound system, and the list goes on. All Kia Stingers come with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, which is hard to find in a car with this much power. Now let's take a look at the interior amenities. Now the interior of the vehicle is definitely a very nice place to be. You can definitely tell that the exterior design and styling and luxurious feel and sportiness transfer into the interior with how everything is laid out, the size of everything, the location, the materials that are used. Starting off with the door, it shuts very well. It feels more like a luxury vehicle. It's not cheap material that's on here, and it's definitely not made of cheap materials as well. You've got soft touch materials on the top. You've got stitching. You have a nice aluminum brush. It's almost like a finished aluminum on where the door paneling is and where the door handle is. And then it kind of changes to a regular aluminum down where the handles are and these automatic windows and locks controls are located. That aluminum's a little bit different. You've got beautiful speaker grills. I think this is the Harman Kardon system. This, of course, the GT2, the most premium version. As you can see, this car is around $50,000, a little bit more than that even. But the speaker grills do look like they are from a Mercedes. I noticed that Mercedes had these type of speaker grills when they introduced the new C-Class, and this looks very similar to that, but at a much lower price tag for the power that you get. Coming over, you do have a lot of different safety assist controls. There's, lane keeping assist, there's blind spot monitoring, and then you also come over to the center display, which is about a 7-inch display, and it's fantastic. I mean, the graphics on this are beautiful. They're very well laid out. Their colors are very, very rich, and what I really like about this car is when you change the different driving modes from sport, comfort, custom, eco, smart, it really does change the colors that are seen on the display. So, the custom mode is purple, it changes colors to purple. If you want sporty, it changes the colors to red. So it's really beautiful in that sense. And coming over to the center, you do have a beautiful 8-inch touchscreen display. It's 7-inch on the standard model, but it's 8-inch on this more premium GT2 model. It works very well, very responsive. Touchscreen is very easy to use. You got beautiful sounds and lights, and honestly, I couldn't ask for a better system, especially for a car of this range. This isn't a $90,000 Audi A7. This is just a Kia Stinger, and so to have these types of graphics and infotainment system, I really can't complain. I know some people have saying the graphics aren't fantastic, but I think the GPS system on this is better than a lot of premium luxury cars that you get. Some of the Infiniti systems, although they're good, they're a little bit dated. This is a newer system, I think, in comparison to that. So very beautiful navigation and head-up display. It does have head-up display as well. I did mention that, and you can adjust it. I never really use head-up display, but that is an option on the GT2. But again, overall, everything from the dashboard graphics to the head-up display to the multimedia center console, all the graphics are very premium, and you don't see a lot of granularity in them, and I think they're very good for what you get. I can't complain in that sense. Coming over to the center, you've got beautiful vents. They work really well. They kind of inspire almost an Audi A3 or Audi TT-esque type of styling. You twist them to close them and open them, and it reminds me somewhat of a Mercedes as well. The new E-Class and the S-Class coupes, they have this type of swivel looking air vents, and I think it adds to the sportiness of the vehicle. You really do get a sense of how aggressive and powerful it is based on those little touches here and there. Everything from the center console display, how it changes colors when you change to the sport modes, and the little touches on the air vents, and even just how everything is laid out in aluminum. It adds to that sporty feel. It doesn't seem like it's cheap. It doesn't seem like they skimped out on wood or more premium materials to get this aluminum in here. It really does seem like higher class, higher quality aluminum. You even see the lines within the aluminum. It's not all fake, plasticky stuff that's painted silver. Coming over to the middle, you have your climate control, of course. Pretty simple with that. You have dual zone climate control, nothing too elaborate on that. Then you have a slide out little tray that features a 12 volt and two USB ports, an auxiliary cable. Coming over to the center, you do have the 8-speed automatic transmission that comes with this car, and as well as the 2-liter version. I think it's a great transmission. We're going to take it out for a ride and see how it shifts. You do have really premium paddle shifters on the steering wheel, and coming over to the steering wheel, you really do notice that it's also very well laid out. Nothing's cheap. The leather feels nice. The 9-3 grips are tight. You got a flat bottom. It says GT at the bottom. Kind of a nice touch to know that you purchased a very premium model. Again, there's more lane keep assist features. There's voice activation. There's volume controls. Answering the phone call, hanging up the phone call. Coming back to this middle area, you do have a heated and cooled seats option, heated steering wheel as well, parking assist with the parking sensors, and automatic start-stop of the engine. When you stop at a stoplight, you can turn that off if you'd like. You do have automatic parking brake. Again, your drive mode button, this is probably the most important button in the middle. The drive mode button regulates what kind of mode you want to be in, and again, that changes the display on top of where your speedometer is. That display will change colors based off what drive mode you select, so it's really cool. The auto hold feature will hold you if you're on a hill, and that way you don't have to, when you take off your foot from the brake, it won't slide down. The center arm console is also very nice. You open it up, there's not that much space as I would expect. It looks like the transmission tunnel kind of takes into some of that spacing, but also nonetheless a pretty good space. You have a little tray that can be removed. Unfortunately, there are no USB ports inside of it, but I don't think that's necessary just because you have USB ports in this slide out little cubby at the front. You know, overall, sitting in these seats, they're very comfortable to sit in. You do have a very comfortable seating position. It almost feels like you're in a sports car. You know, I compare this to my car. When I sit down, you don't have the exact type of feel. It feels almost just like a regular sedan. When you sit in this one, you do feel like you're sitting into a sports car. It leans back a little bit. You've got a lower seating position. You don't feel like you're sitting in a crossover or a regular sedan. You feel like you're sitting in a sports car. And I think I know they specifically designed it that way because this is a sports car. You know, it's a GT sports car, and for that reason, the seating position front and back feels the exact same. You're sitting a little bit lower. You feel like you're leaning back a little bit. It really does circle back to what that sports car methodology that they used to create this automobile, and you'll know exactly what I mean if you sit in one of these cars. The seating is different than a regular sedan. Coming over to the back seats, you do have a lot of leg room. Me sitting behind myself, there's still a few inches, but honestly, I could slide forward. This is definitely a bigger car than what it competes with in terms of the 3 Series and, you know, the Audi A3, the C-Class. It kind of is in between the C-Class and the E-Class. And I think the space is very nice. I think it's a perfect sized automobile. Seating is very good. Headroom is also very nice. You have several inches. It's nice that because this is more of the sweeping kind of hatchback almost styling, the coupe styling, you do have a little bit of sacrifice in the headroom, but that carries off into better trunk space. Coming over to the trunk, you do have a lot of trunk space. It competes with that of the A7. Porsche Panamera. You do have a lot of space that you can throw a ton of luggage into, and that's something that, although you sacrifice a little bit of the headroom in the rear seats, again, it's perfectly fine, but you do sacrifice a little bit. You do gain that back in the rear trunk. Now, in the back seats, you do have 2 vents. They are regulated. You can control some of the temperature. It's not, you know, dual zone climate control, but you do control the temperature of the air coming through the back seats. Very premium. I really like the feeling of the back seats. They're very nice, very comfortable seating position. You can definitely go on long trips and be comfortable, and that's what's great about this car, is that you really do have an all-around great vehicle. You have a sports car, you have a GT car, you know, you have a car that you can haul stuff in. It really is just the perfect size. I don't think, you know, some people complain about the size of this car, that's a little bit big, and yeah, it's big. It's about probably the size of an E-Class or a 5 Series in terms of how you feel in it, but that's what's nice about it, is because you still have that sportiness, but you have the space that backs up that engine behind it. So now we're going to start it up and take it for a quick test drive and see how it handles. The keys are very interesting on the Kia Stinger. It has this kind of really heavy type of metal and leather feel. The buttons are actually on the side. There's no buttons on the front and the back, but it is very nice, leathery, and you have good kind of a muscular, sporty type of feel to this key that is different than all other Kia keys that I've seen. So you do carry over the exterior and interior styling even into the key, and it's those little touches that really will differentiate this car from a lot of its competitors. You know, Kia is offering a different type of client experience or driving experience than some of these other competitors, because, you know, if you go for some other cars, they're all going to be the exact same key. They're not going to differentiate, and it's really just very nice to see that they're adding little touches like this, like the color changing on the dashboard, you know, the way the touchscreen works, the way all the aluminum's laid out, the air vents, everything adds to that feel that you're selling this customer a sporty GT car. And you know, it's got the alarm, of course. You've got the automatic trunk release button, open and close, which is nice, lock and unlock buttons, and really just a very premium feel. So we have push to start, of course. So to come up to this car, you keep it in your pocket, you push the button on the door to unlock the door, you close it, and you hit the push to start button, and the car will start right up. So let's get going. We're going to hit the road. It's a little bit rainy today, so it might not be the best conditions to drive it, or maybe it is. So let's hit the road, let's see how it drives, and I hope you enjoy. All right. Yeah, I do like the red leather, but yeah. How long do you guys have these already?
3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, really?
They've been in the States for about that.
Wow.
So, yeah, really new.
Yeah. This,
you know, obviously first year in production too. So
I like the seating position. Like it doesn't feel like a sedan. It feels like a sports car almost.
Right. Yeah. But the seats are, you know, low, and I like how you can move, you know, the front to be raised up a little bit, so you lean back a little bit more.
Really adjustable. Yeah, like every part of it is. Okay, and this is the rear-wheel drive GT1.
GT1. Yep. Rear-wheel drive, 2018.
3.3 liter.
Yep.
V6.
Twin turbo V6.
Shifts really quick. And this is, I think, created by Hyundai, right? The Kia Hyundai created this.
Right. Yeah. I'm not actually sure which one of them created what, because they're sister companies and they share a lot of the technology.
Right.
But yeah.
Best take a right here.
Probably.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. That train will literally be there for like 30 minutes. So.
Turn this down just a little bit. Okay.
It's in sport mode right now too, just to give you like an optimal feel, but you can switch that as well on the fly.
Wow, yeah, that's quick to accelerate.
Yeah.
That was half pedal probably too. So.
Right, yeah. And you know, the 4-cylinder is pretty quick too, but the biggest, you know, difference, when you slam on it on the V6, you really fly into your seat.
Yeah.
That kind of power, the even being a turbo, the 4-cylinder just doesn't have.
It just So. And so the V6, wow, yeah, that's instant power.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And V6 starts about, I saw around 40,000, right?
Yeah, there's a pretty big range because there's like 5 trims.
Right.
And so yeah, there's the GT, the GT1, and the GT2. So basically starts in early 40s for the V6, and it goes up to early to mid 50s.
Okay.
Depending on what you want in it. So,
I mean, it's attainable to get this much power, and you know, it's not super expensive compared to a lot of what it competes with.
Right.
So.
And that's kind of a big selling point for these, is that you know, you've basically, for what it competes with, it's much cheaper and a much better warranty too.
Yeah.
So, you know, really just
do Kias come with 100,000 as well? Oh,
10-year, 100,000 drivetrain warranty.
Okay.
So for a sports car like this to have that is pretty unheard of.
That's so true.
That's kind of cool as well.
And even though it's sporty, I just went over those, you know, train tracks, and it was surprisingly soft. Like I didn't feel like I was in a sports car where my back starts hurting or it's just uncomfortable. It's a very soft car. There's sport mode, there's custom, comfort, eco, and smart.
Yeah. So most of them are pretty self-explanatory. Smart mode is one that I'm still kind of figuring out a little bit.
Yeah, I was curious what is.
Yeah, I've got to research that one a little more. But yeah, comfort mode, you know, obviously it's going to ride a little bit smoother, you know, a little softer.
Right.
Eco mode, you're going to save a little bit on gas mileage. Sport mode, it's going to shift a little bit more aggressively.
And do the opposite on the gas mileage.
Exactly. Yeah, a little bit. So.
I've used the paddle shifters there, and yeah, it shifts really quick. Like I'm used to in my car, my Mercedes, it shifts. Yeah, I don't have paddle shifters, but it shifts, but it's kind of slow.
Right.
And Mercedes used that transmission for a while, and it's a little bit of a slow transmission. But
is it a 4MATIC?
It is, yeah. The 4MATIC, yeah.
What kind of Mercedes
system.
is it?
It's a C300.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's
so
sweet.
It's a great car.
Is those the all-wheel drive ones too?
It is, yeah. Thankfully, it is the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, those are cool.
Oh yeah, this car is really nice. It feels like you're driving a sedan in terms of comfort, but when you step on the pedal, you really feel it.
Yeah, there's surprisingly a lot of room too, you know, for being this kind of vehicle.
Yeah.
Back seats are pretty comfortable, and
exactly.
So that's kind of another cool thing.
It doesn't seem. I know it competes with like the 3 Series and the C-Class, but it's bigger than those cars for sure.
Yeah.
But you also feel like you know the proportions of the vehicle, so you don't. You know, you adapt to the size pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And it has the auto start stop, and I literally just felt it. It's almost unnoticeable.
Yeah, it's pretty subtle. So, but it'll definitely save on that gas mileage a little bit.
Yeah. Mine has the auto start stop, and I know a lot of people complain on my car that you can feel it, but I don't feel it at all. But this one, you definitely don't.
Yeah.
Feel that. Yeah, it's really nice acceleration. I don't want to step on it too hard, especially since the conditions
With
are
the rain,
best.
yeah.
Rain, and it's a new car. But I mean, if you break this in, you can definitely have fun with it.
Yeah, you really can.
Overall, you'll enjoy this vehicle if you need a roomy Grand Tourer that provides brisk acceleration and striking design at an affordable price. If you're an individual that cares about brand names, then this might not be the car for you. Although Kia has come a long way from the days of old with good reliability, striking appearance, and sufficient tech, not many people compare a Kia to a Mercedes, regardless of whether the Kia can outperform mechanically. If you are an individual that does not care about the brand but values quality, performance, and a strike away from the norm, then be sure to check out the Kia Stinger at your local dealership. Huge thanks again to Jerry Seiner Kia, and a thank you to Drew, who helped me throughout the test drive. Be sure to contact the dealership for any of your questions, and they will be happy to help you out. Their information is in the description. Well, there you have it, folks. If you are interested in a car, the Kia Stinger, or really any Kia, please come on down to Jerry Seiner Kia, downtown Salt Lake. I'll put up the info in the description below. And thank you so much. It's Drew, right?
Yeah, Drew.
I appreciate all the info and showing me around. And catch you guys next time.
Smash that subscribe button, YouTube.
There you go.